Gentlemen, today's project is the project gravel grinder. We'll take a look at the decals later. It's size 54 with a light blue, pastel blue frame. It's kind of pretty, I think. The fork is the project with lots of braze-ons for bags and racks and whatnot. The group set is Tiagra 2x10 speed 50-34, and I think this is an 11-32. Typical road bike kind of stuff. Cockpit, Easton Aero climbing bars for road bike, STI levers, salsa stem and seat post. The saddle is Bontrager, I believe. TRP mechanical disc brakes. The shoes we're going to be putting on are Gravel King SKs, 650B by 48, I believe. And then the rim set is the Project rim hoops on Novatec hubs and Richmond spokes. 32 holes, 3 cross, 27.5, 650B, just standard fare mountain bike kind of stuff. I know you want to hear a sound check of these Novatec hubs, so let's have at it. Not too noisy, just typical, I guess. I was about to put on the seat clamp until I noticed the brand. Nice. Let's get through this quick. I like the decals. I'm not a fan of the head badge. The decals are put on nicely. It's if it's part of the paint. The head badge seems kind of dated and there's a bit too much going on. I do like the gravel grinder livery logo. The frame has cable guides rather than cable stops, so I'm gonna have to use extra cable housing because my customer only gave me enough for one regular bike. You can see kinda here where it's lighter. The paint didn't get to there, and there's the paint on the dropouts. You can kinda see it leaves something to be desired. But the welds and everything, I've seen more expensive bikes with like terrible booger welds around the bottom bracket. But all in all, it's a nice bike. Considerations for installing your headset. Sometimes they come with logos only on like one side. So I think for this one, I'll install it sideways, so when you take a picture, you'll see it says it has the Project Fleur-de-Lis. The other one doesn't have any logo, so it's meant to be on the top. I mean, I could do it, but it's gonna look weird. This is the crown race. This is the fork crown. It goes on like that. This is the crown race setter. And this is a hammer. The crown race has been set. Right now I'm just gonna figure out how many spacers I have to use along with the stem to see how far I've cut the steer tube. They like their spacers, so we're gonna put lots and lots of spacers so we can stack the bad boy up. Brilliant. I think I will leave it at that. Let's cut it. I'm just gonna use a knife to make the marking. Just the back side of the knife. Just have to score the paint enough. And we're gonna cut under that. Here at a very, very dirty workbench. Here's the fork, here's the steer tube. You can see where I've made the marks, and I'll put it in my handy dandy saw guide. And I'll just measure off that. Clean and perfect cut. Just gonna hit it with a file to get rid of all the sharp edges, and then let's see if it fits, and I'm fairly certain it does. Not too bad. It's a perfect fit too, just enough space for the top cap. Something I noticed was this bike was designed for one by. That is to say, one front gear and then whatever gears you want at the back. The cable guides are only for the rear derailleur and the brake housing. So I'll have to tie them together, do some MacGyver thing. There's obviously no provision for braze-on, but it's common. So I have this braze-on type front derailleur. I have this clamp adapter and then shims, because this adapter is 31.8 and the seat tube is 28.6. My excitement to put the bad boy together, I did put on the front derailleur, and like I said a while ago, this bike only has cable housing guides, no cable stops. It's meant to be a one by, till I realized that underneath there isn't a cable guide. So it really is meant to be one by, one side for the brakes, one side for the cable housing for the rear derailleur. So what we're gonna do is either I can have my customer get a one by chainring, or what he's probably gonna do is get a like vintage like 70s clamp on cable guide for the whole for the full housing to come out over here, and then terminate the cable and be able to pull the front derailleur. So this might be maybe the only one. Maybe not, probably not, but compared to other gravel grinders, this is gonna be a 2x. Finally, we were able to get a old school clamp on cable guide. Typically you use this on older bikes that don't have any braze-ons or anything. Cable guides built in, well, such as this one. These are all cable housing guides rather than cable stops. So this is just going to go around the tube. We're gonna have to put it at an angle like that. It's gonna be there, but it won't hit anything, so we're good. The cable housing is going to come underneath the bottom bracket and terminate at the cable guide, and the cable will go into the front derailleur, and we will have a 2x gravel grinder. Okay, and there it is. I've skipped through and wrapped the handlebars with the bar tape and added the saddle, but you've seen me do most of the work already. There is some slight issue with the chain line, as I believe this was really only intended to be a 1x setup, but let's see if the customer is fine with the 2x setup and a bit of chain rub, or if they want to make it go 1x10. You can see the cable guide that we installed to make the front derailleur work, and it shifts pretty smoothly up and down from high and low gear. The bar tape's kinda thin but rather comfy. The brakes are responsive. Another thing is the clearance between the fork and the tires. These are fat tires. You can see on the back as well. There's barely any gap with these 48s, but the ride's cushy with these Gravel King SKs. And there we go. I'd appreciate some feedback on what you guys want to see and what kind of stuff you want me to show you how to do. Tutorials, I guess? I'm not sure, but I just want to show you my process and the pretty bikes that I work on.